Life is heavy with the weight of invisible burdens, regrets, fears, and anxieties that cling to us in the silence of the night. Imagine sitting alone in a quiet room, the candle flickering as its light dances on the walls of your mind. You realize how these hidden weights have shaped your thoughts and reactions. The Stoics teach us that our inner life is a sacred space where we tend a fire of wisdom and courage. Drawing on their gentle guidance, we begin a journey inward. We will softly examine 10 silent enemies that have nested in our hearts and consider letting them go one by one. Each point below is like a mirror held up to your own soul. Look closely. You might see the furrows of worry in your brow as you try to please everyone around you, or the shadows of someone from your past still pulling at your spirit. These are not laws written in stone. They are tender invitations to find freedom. As we move through each one, listen carefully to your own thoughts and feelings. In true Stoic fashion, we are not condemning ourselves. Rather, we are becoming gently aware. By the end, you may feel quietly lighter, ready to breathe easier and live more fully in the present moment. 1. The need to be liked by everyone. You know the feeling. Your heart sinks when someone disagrees, and you try harder to smile. We all crave approval, but caring too much about other people's opinions is like drinking seawater when you're thirsty. It only leaves you more parched. Deep down, you may love yourself, but you give more power to the idea of being liked. Marcus Aurelius observed this trap. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Stoic.com. The Stoics would gently remind you that other people's judgments are beyond your control. As Epictetus bluntly put it, never depend on the admiration of others. Who cares what other people think about you? Imagine letting that need fall away, like releasing a bird from its cage. Think of a time when you changed something about yourself just to win someone's approval. Maybe you stayed silent in a meeting even though you had something to say, or you hid your true feelings because you feared disapproval. These moments leave a quiet ache in the soul. The Stoics encourage us to be honest with ourselves first. Ask yourself, what would you do if you truly believe you didn't need anyone's approval to be worthy? Picture the peace that comes when you live according to your own nature, not someone else's idea of perfection. Reflect on Epictetus's words and Marcus's. In your heart, quietly concede. Seeking constant approval only steals joy from life. Now, take a deep breath. In the silence, let this question linger. When was the last time you acted for you, not for their applause? 2. Emotionally draining relationships. Some bonds feel like a warm hug. Others feel like weights around your ankles. Imagine carrying a sack of stones everywhere you go. That's what it's like to stay attached to relationships that constantly drain your spirit. A friend who complains endlessly, a family member who belittles your dreams, or a coworker who thrives on conflict. These people leech your energy. The Stoics warn us to examine our company carefully. Seneca, known for his friendship letters, advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those who you are capable of improving. He reminds us that relationships should be mutual. Both souls should grow. If a connection only takes and never gives, it quietly saps your strength. Consider a relationship that leaves you exhausted. Perhaps you walk into their presence already feeling small, or you dread an upcoming conversation. The Stoics would ask, who is truly harmed, the other person or your own heart? Epictetus teaches that another person will not do you harm unless you wish it. Stoic.com. In other words, you give others power to wound you. You do feel drained only if you allow their negativity inside. This is empowering, even emotional. You realize you can protect your inner world. Just as you can choose what you eat to nourish your body, you can choose what company you keep to nourish your soul. Now think quietly. Which relationship has been a steady thundercloud over your day? Imagine setting that cloud aside, stepping into fresh air. Feel the relief of removing one stone at a time from your sack. Pause and ask yourself in silence, who around me does not lift me, and how might my life change if I gently took a step back? 3. The habit of constant comparison. Every scroll through social media, every look across the room at a stranger's successes, these can spark a gnawing feeling in your chest. We compare our inside to others' outside. But comparisons are a ruinous habit. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others. stoicbreviary.blogspot.com. When we measure ourselves against others, we overlook the unique life we have. It's like running a race where each runner uses different shoes, none of which are yours. You end up hobbled, wondering why you're not first, when the race isn't even yours to begin with. Have you ever felt a hollow ache reading someone else's happy news? Or craved a skill someone else has? Forgetting how far you've come? The Stoics say this: be grateful for your own path. Epictetus put it plainly: he is a wise man who does not grieve for things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has. Picture a wise elder on a mountaintop, content with the view they have, instead of pining for the horizon beyond. That is the Stoic stance. Quietly look inward. Identify one way you've been in the comparison trap. See the fine grain of disappointment and frustration in it. Now breathe and consider. If you took your focus off others, what might you build instead? There's a unique light inside you. Let it shine without dimming it in someone else's shadow. Ask yourself softly, when I compare, who am I really hurting? Me or the people I envy? For the fear of saying no, perhaps a voice whispers, if I say no, they'll reject me. We often carry an invisible yoke of obligation, agreeing to things we don't want just to avoid conflict or disappointment. But every unwanted yes is a silent debt we owe ourselves later. Imagine someone claiming ownership over your time and energy. That's what fear of refusal does. Stoicism teaches self-mastery. Epictetus declared, God has entrusted me with myself. No man is free who is not master of himself. You can choose how to spend your life, starting with your own no. Think back to a recent time you said yes out of guilt or fear. How did it feel? Maybe your heart pounded or you felt a knot in your stomach. That was your inner self screaming, this is not my will. The Stoics would say, your will is yours to own. Marcus Aurelius advised himself daily to live simply and justly on his own terms. He taught that your happiness should not hinge on what others think of your choices. When you say no to something that truly doesn't serve you, you are caring for your soul with honesty. Now, in a quiet moment, test a gentle no in your mind. Picture someone asking a big favor. See yourself smiling and calmly declining, your shoulders relaxed. You sense relief. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing if I decline? And is that fear worth the peace I forfeit by always saying yes? 5. The illusion of control over the future. We make plans, spreadsheets, what-if lists, as if we can script the rest of our lives. But life is a river that never stays still. Trying to steer every twist and turn is exhausting and ultimately futile. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Worrying about the future is like carrying sand in a sieve. No matter how tightly you cling, it slips through your fingers. Think of a time you anxiously anticipated something. An exam, a trip, a big change. How many sleepless nights did it steal? And when that event passed, did you look back and see that the future turned out exactly as you feared? Often not. Seneca, in his famous essay on life's brevity, wrote, the whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. whatisstoicism.com. He urges us to seize the present rather than wait for the elusive right time. For the future will always be uncertain, but this moment right now is a gift. Quietly examine your plans. Are you living now or trapped in tomorrow's anxieties? Perhaps you fear making a move, waiting for everything to align perfectly. In the hush of your heart, ask, what can I do today with the control I truly have? By embracing uncertainty, you unlock serenity. Take a gentle breath and ask yourself, is obsessing over tomorrow helping me? Or could I channel this energy into what I choose today? 6. Clinging to outdated versions of yourself. You grew and time passed, but part of you still lives in the past. Your life is a river, constantly flowing, and yet you are clinging to a fallen leaf. Maybe you think, I'm still that shy teenager, or I'm always that angry person. But everything changes. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, wrote nearly 2,000 years ago, Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change the things that are. Nothing in us stays the same. Our bodies, our thoughts, our dreams all evolve. Recall something you believed about yourself years ago. Perhaps a failure or a label. I'm bad at math. I'm not creative enough. Does that still hold true? Chances are you're not the exact person you were. Stoics urge us to allow ourselves to transform, like a snake shedding its skin or a river carving a new path. We must let go of who we were to become who we can be. Holding on to an old identity only causes grief. So quietly question the labels you carry. Which old self has outlived its purpose? Imagine it dissolving into the air, freeing you to try something new. Feel that freedom. In silence, ask yourself, if I had no past identity to prove, what new path might I step onto today? 7. Resentment toward those who hurt you. Pain from betrayal or cruelty is like a poison that we drink hoping someone else will die. The Stoics say resentment hurts you more than anyone else. Think of a time someone wronged you deeply. A friend betrayal, a bully's words, a parent's neglect. The wound may run deep and can replay in your mind at night. Marcus Aurelius calmly noted that choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. In other words, only you can give sorrow its power over you. Epictetus taught. Another person will not do you harm unless you wish it. You will be harmed at just that time at which you take yourself to be harmed. That means if you mentally clutch onto anger and revenge, you perpetuate your own suffering. Meanwhile, the one who hurt you may have moved on. Holding on to bitterness is like carrying an empty cup, hoping to spill poison on someone else, but only spilling it on yourself. Feel the ache of old resentment now. Where is it in your body? A knot in your stomach? Tension in your jaw? With each silent breath, imagine loosening that knot. The Stoics advise high road virtue. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. We have seen Marcus make this note to himself. You may not need to forget or forgive fully, but you can stop feeding the grudge. Ask yourself quietly, by clinging to this hate, what peace am I sacrificing? 8. Procrastination disguised as waiting for the right time. How often do you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, I'll begin after this, or I'll wait until conditions are perfect? Each excuse is a thief stealing moments from your life. The present is the only time you truly have. Seneca, the Stoic who confronted the luxury of his own wealth, warned about our most precious commodity, time. He wrote, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful. He reminds us that time is the one thing we lose if we don't use it wisely. Imagine you have a year of life in your hands. Would you save it for later, or start living it now? Marcus Aurelius gave himself a daily reminder. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. In other words, live with urgency and purpose today. Whether it's telling someone you love them, pursuing a dream, or even taking time to rest, the right time is this time. Every moment wasted waiting is a moment that will never return. Gently confront your tendency to wait. What project or dream have you been shelving for a better day? Visualize that door opening for you right now. Feel the determination in your bones. In the hush of your heart, ask, what if this moment was the only one I could count on? 9. Fear of being alone. Loneliness can loom like a dark storm cloud, but solitude is a quiet shelter. We often confuse the two. Being alone in a good way means being at peace with oneself. It can be a calm retreat. As Seneca famously noted, we are more often frightened and hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Much of our fear of solitude comes from what we imagine will be scary silence, empty nights, rather than what it truly is, a peaceful sanctuary. Marcus Aurelius captured it well. People look for retreats for themselves, in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. There is nowhere that a person can find a more peaceful and trouble-free retreat than in his own mind. No need to travel. Your mind itself can be a refuge. Think of moments when you craved company but then felt bored or restless when alone. Those feelings are natural, but also trainable. Stoicism teaches that if you are comfortable with yourself, You are never truly alone. Cultivate your inner world. Read, think, walk, reflect. The Stoic philosophers often practice solitude to strengthen themselves, to be able to stand firm without needing approval or entertainment from others. Next time you find yourself alone, lean into it rather than flee. Close your eyes and just sit with your thoughts. Tell yourself, you are not truly empty. You are enough. Ask your heart, what am I really afraid of when I have no one else around? 10. The need to always be right. Being right can feel comforting. It gives us a sense of certainty and status. But the obsession with always winning an argument or proving our point is a silent battle where nobody wins. Every time we insist we're correct at the expense of understanding another, we tighten the chains of our own arrogance. The Stoics urge humility, to favor truth and understanding over pride. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake. I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone." This is not exactly being always right, but rather always seeking what is right. Recall the last time you argued just to prove a point, even when it strained a relationship. Perhaps you felt a brief satisfaction in winning, but did it bring you any lasting good? Stoicism teaches that wisdom comes from listening as much as speaking. Epictetus advised focusing on one's own improvement rather than others' faults. When you let go of always having to be right, you open the door to learning. You become a student of life again, curious and flexible. Be kind to yourself now. Recognize where your ego may be whispering to rebut or to judge. Notice the tightness in your jaw or the heated rush in your chest. Let the Stoic motto echo in your mind. Seek the truth, not the victory. In silence, consider, how can my conversations change if I valued understanding over being right? Let these questions rest quietly in your mind. In the gentle aftermath of this reflection, allow yourself to breathe a little easier. The heavy stones you carried have begun to fall away, one by one. You have looked inward with compassion and strength. May the stillness guide you. Go forward lightly, heart open and truly free.